experiencing challenges in your marriage or in your relationship, do you want an advice or are you seeking advice? Then you are in the right place. Welcome to Women Talk, where real women engage. My name is Ridah, Kering, and of course I'm not alone in studio. When I talk about advice, I have a guest with that experience, more than 15 years in marriage. She is a mother to 4 beautiful and healthy children. I'm talking about Irene Bushebi. Irene, it's been quite some time. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be back. To the viewers, we love you. Welcome.
All right, welcome to Women Talk, where real women engage. My name is Ridah Kering, as I said earlier, and you can talk to us our YouTube page, Maisha Television Kenya, Facebook, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE. And today we're going to talk about another interesting topic in marriage, that is leadership in marriage. When you talk about leadership in marriage, Irene, what comes into your mind?
When you talk about leadership, it's about taking marriage to another level. You know, when you talk about leadership, you're talking about an institution that will enable you to move to a better level. An institution that will enable you to create an environment where other people can be nurtured and be brought up to be the right people in that department. So when you talk about leadership in marriage, I think about how many people are in marriage, how many people want to get into marriage, how many people have succeeded in marriage, how many people have failed in marriage. So that's all about marriage and leadership.
When it comes to the leadership in the family, we have the head of the family. So in your understanding, I know you're a pastor. Who is the head of the family?
The head of the family, I can't take it somewhere else. The head of the family remains to be the father or the husband of that family. Yeah, so I know challenges have been here, there, where we see the woman or the mother to be the head of the family simply because of the responsibilities that she's taken over. But looking into it closely, we can't take it far away from the fact that the father or the man is the head of that family. The reason why I say this is there are natural principles that cannot be changed. Yeah, most of the times because of, let me say, maybe civilization or how we take things to a different level, we would be challenged to think that we can reverse what nature dictates. But in reality, nature will remain nature, and those are principles that were there and will be there and have always been there, and nobody can really change them. So when you try to tamper with them, okay, to some level, sometimes you can think, okay, they are working out, like we can change the principle of nature. But at the end of the day, you find that it might have worked for some time, and then now because of it working now, it is going to affect the next other time. So it's better you leave it as it is so that it doesn't affect you know, the level unto which it was supposed to move you to, you see. So yes, the man remains the head of the family. That's what I would say.
Yes, but in our current society, we see the society is changing. That definition, the head of the family, is based on who is the provider, who is the breadwinner of that family.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes we are pushed to think that we can change this. But looking at it literally, as much as maybe the woman will be doing something to let us think that she is the head of that family, if we get deeper into it, or if we give it time, we'll find that there's something that when she assumed the responsibility of a man, something happened that we didn't even realize. We're gonna realize it maybe like 10 years to come. So it will affect us, maybe not knowing, but now because we assumed she did it well, then we'll say, I think it worked. But that weakness that is there will now jump into action and start showing us. If you're very keen to look into it, you'll start realizing that, you know what, that's where it started working wrong, you know. So eventually we'll say that's where the rain started beating us. Yeah, so yes, I know we are pushed to this because of how life has stated everything. And when you move back to still what we call life, civilization, and what it is, you find that it's still us who are making it the way it is. Because if we did it just the way we used to do it, then nothing might have changed so much. And as much as time is also pushing us to what we would say is what we need to do, or is what we are assuming is supposed to be happening, you find that yes, that time has done that, but still it boils back to us. What did we do that did not make that thing work the way it used to work?
Yes.
So it is still about the people concerned, the people who are in the midst of this all.
Yes.
So when it is about us trying to say that we can assume the responsibility of the other and do it perfectly,
Yes.
then we should remember, why don't we just still do what we are doing,
Yes.
but do it the right way, so that maybe we don't assume the responsibility of the other. Because let's take, for example, we are saying now, it's the woman who is maybe providing for this family. Where is that man? What is happening? Maybe he lost a job. I can't deny that fact.
Yes.
But if he lost a job, is it that if you lose a job, then you can't fend for your family? Somebody would answer me that question. I know there are so many ways. So it's not just about providing for the family because you bring food on the table. You can provide for the family because now you are jumping into other things that that person who is now bringing the food onto the table was supposed to do, and then now you are doing them. You see, so this person will not feel the weight. And at the end of the day, everybody will feel that, you know, we are getting into it. And this person whose responsibility has also just changed, what is it that you're thinking within you? Is it that when this person now is not bringing the food, then his responsibility has changed simply because he's doing something different?
Yes.
Maybe not. The only thing you need to do is to change your mindset. Because this person remains the same person. Has he changed to a woman simply because he's started, you know, maybe cooking at home? No, he still remains a man. Why is it that God is not changing this person to a woman so that he just remains a man? It's because we have to let our positions remain as they are, as much as we can change other factors that are surrounding us.
Well, I think Irene has really explained that very well. We have this notion where when a woman provides for a family, she feels like, now I'm the head of the family. I provide, nalipa rent, nalipa school fees. So mwanaume hazi akaniambia kitu. I'm the head. I think Irene has really explained that very well. The reason why I decided on this program we talk about leadership in marriage. The latest report, according to the latest report by the 2022 Kenya Demographic and Health Survey, indicates that a third of households in Kenya, we're talking about the whole country, are headed by women. And 36% of households in rural are headed by women, compared to 31% in urban. What could be attributing to this?
Just as we've said, I know that there are things that we are doing that we used not to do. Like, for example, we've talked about this several times, empowering the girl child. So once I'm empowered, automatically I'll jump into action. And then there are things like we are embracing the fact that I can stay single and raise my children. So what will change here? I'm the man, I'm the woman. So when somebody is counting on the heads, he'll say, the person who is the head of that home is that woman. So you see, that's why the number would seem like doubling. It's because we've decided maybe to do things differently. But what we are forgetting is that as much as we are doing these things differently, men have not changed to women. Women have not changed to men. They remain the same as much as they assume the responsibilities. And as we are also doing this, I realized at some point people started saying, okay, we've done a lot of empowering the women that we've left the man or the boy child. You see that? The reason why we are saying this is that we have realized there's something that is now missing. As much as we said we're empowering the girl child and the girl child has reached somewhere there, what is it now that is coming in? We realize there's something that is not just adding up. We need also to, put this level of empowering to be equal, so that we don't say that because we empowered the ladies so much, or the women so much, or the girl child so much, now the men are behind here. And once they remain behind, what is it that is happening? We'll see that gap. Things will start happening that is asking us the question, why did you leave the boy child behind? You see, so as much as we would talk about the percentages and the numbers maybe just going high in terms of the women now leading families and not the men, we still think about what is it that we did differently, and then we find the answer to that. And when we find the answer to that, we find that we did something that was not right. And why is it that we now would even want to come back to what or what happened when everything has just come to what it is? It's because we are realizing that there is a gap that we need to fill. Why is it that we need to fill this gap? We did something back there that was not supposed to just be done that way. As much as it was a change for us, still we needed to do it in the same level. We needed to do it in a way that it was not going to affect us in the time to come. So you see, yes, the numbers are high. What is it that happened? we empowered the girl child more than the boy child. And now here again we are coming, we want to now empower the boy child. At some level we'll start realizing we've empowered the boy child so much that we need to empower the girl child.
Yes.
So what we need to do, as I was saying, is that when we want to do something, remember that the responsibilities will not change as much as we want them to change, as much as maybe we forget that they're gonna change, you know. So when you're doing anything that you're doing, remember the principles of nature. They will remain the same. Because if you don't deal with them, some years to come, you'll find that you really need to retrace your steps and go back to where it started beating you the rain, and then now you double up your standard.
I think that we need a balance in that sector. When we empower the girl child, we should also ensure that, in fact, we should just empower
both of us.
both of us.
Yeah, the boy, the girl, yeah, so that we come in the same level. Yeah.
Yes, you know, another issue is that you'll find most houses now are headed by women because they are single parents. And the reason for that is because she can provide, she has money, kazi yake ni kutafuta tu mtoto mmoja ama wawili, and she can be the head of her home.
Na hapo ndio shida inaanza, kwa sababu wakati tulisema we are empowering you, we didn't tell you that when you are in a position to provide, you don't need a man. I don't think we said that. The only thing we said is that we are empowering you so that you can help a man.
Yes.
If we are together, then we help each other. I know all factors lead to the fact that if I'm empowered, then I start feeling like, you know, maybe I don't need this guy. Why do I need him? But you know, as years roll by, yes, in your position, you might not need him. But the children that you're giving birth to, they'll be like, we need a daddy here. And because the daddy is not there, there are things that are going to happen in this family that you start regretting, I wish the daddy was here. You see, so those are some of the loopholes that we really need to fill whenever we are doing anything that we are doing. Yeah, so when you are empowered as a woman, and even now as a man, we are talking about this because we know in future, if we continue like we are now going, we are saying, let's empower the boy child as well. And we are forgetting, I know this is, and these are some of the principles of nature. Every time you find that there is that imbalance, and imbalance that is there talks to us and tells us that we need to do things right. You see that? So these things happen, yes, but when they happen, what are we supposed to do? We should be focusing rightly before we even start doing whatever we are doing. So we are saying, as we empower you, the boy or the girl, make sure that the principles of nature remain intact. Those things that are supposed to be done right, just do them right. Don't do them otherwise simply because you think, I'm up there. Getting up there does not mean that you're filling the gaps. The gaps might just remain as much as you get up there. And when you get up there, when you look down and you see the gaps, you'll be like, why didn't I do this right? You'd want to come down. When you're coming down, something happens in between.
True. And as we talk about this, you'll find that we have families already headed by women at the moment. They have children. How will this affect their children? Because this is like the trend will continue. They've seen their mothers, the head of the family, and in their homes, that will also be the same trend.
Of course, it's true. That's what is happening. And that's where now we are. Same-sex marriage. Yeah. Because I've never seen a man in our house. What do you want me to do?
Yes.
Do you want me to get married to a man? I think you're kidding me. So the only thing is, I'm getting married to a woman. So I don't know if you love that or if you like that. Yeah, so that is what is going to happen. There are extremes that are going to come up that we look at them and start thinking, how did these things come about? They just did come in because we thought otherwise. But looking into every fact, please, if you want to do something, look at what will happen, the repercussions. You know, we are told every decision we make, they have consequences. So what are the consequences before you just jump into a decision? So as you're saying, yes, we have those single mothers, or we even have the single fathers. And then this is what is with us now. And now we are trying to correct this at the same time. It's not being corrected. The next generation, everybody's getting worried. Are we going to get children again?
If you marry a man, how do you expect to find
so we'll start thinking of those, I don't know, surrogate, are they called surrogate mothers or something like that? Is that what we want? And then out of those surrogate mothers, what is it that is going to happen? It will be like, it will be so expensive to have a child. Very expensive. And so it will be for a certain class to have children. Are we going there? I don't know if we are ready. But those are some of the things that we are bound to have. So as much as we are getting into this thing we call civilization, please, let's mark this. Are we ready for what is going to come up?
Yes, I think that is a very good question. What are your thoughts? Talk to us. YouTube, Facebook, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram, Twitter at Maisha TV KE. Our studio number is 0746 999 You can text, call, or WhatsApp, and we'll definitely get back to you. Before we go for a short commercial break, Irene, we've highlighted that some of the reasons why women think that they can be the heads of their homes, it's because they are providers. But we've talked about this time and again. What are these specific roles that a woman, hata kama wewe ndio breadwinner of that family, should ensure that she fulfills those responsibilities as the wife?
And the wife. Yeah, there are responsibilities that we know are for women as much as you're providing. I don't think a man is going to give birth simply because you're providing. So the man will have to be the one who is making sure that there are kids in that home, but the woman is the one who is going to give birth to the children. So when we talk about this, you can roll down to every other fact in terms of responsibilities. What is it that you're doing as a woman? You have to be taking care of your, I know, for example, let's say you decide, okay, you are somebody who is working in your office and all that stuff, maybe you have a bigger position. And then it's the man who is home and doing all the chores at home and all that stuff. I don't think as a woman, as a sober woman, when you come home, you are happy. You know, men, it's not that we degrade the men, but there's how they were made in such a way that there are things they don't just do them perfectly. Yeah. And especially when it comes to organizing a home. Hata kama mengia kwa bafu kuosha hao watoto, ukiwaona ndio anawaosha ndio, there's no difference, is bathing the children, but looking at it, hata we utamhurumia na utahurumia those kids, not because I don't know how to express this, but what I'm trying to say is that they are just not perfect in that line. So if you push them to do this, they do it, but you'll see those shortfalls. Okay, leave alone that. You come into your home, it's your man who takes care of the home. It's like everything is all over the place, as much as he's trying to make this work. I know you're there and saying, oh, men do well in decos and all that stuff. Yes, they do well. But you know what? Bring that man who does decos and bring him home and want him to do these things. You will still see those shortfalls. Yeah, true. It's because they were not, these things were not fixed into them. So they just try to get out of their way, because you know when he's doing the decos, it's because it's a professional thing. He has to do it perfectly, and it's maybe once in a while. And this is something that has to be done routinely. He is not able to keep up to that standard most of the time. So even as that working class woman, when you come back home, there's something that is really missing within you. Why is it missing? Because it's you who is supposed to jump in action, but you're trying to assume. You look at such women, okay, I'm sorry to say this, but most of the time you see that they're trying to work out things to show that everything is just okay, but you can see the shortfalls, even you see. So what I'm saying here is that, yes, we provide as women, and we need to, because time now is dictating so. Yes. And you know, women, we can multitask, and still we are women as we are. But for men, if you push them to do this, you find that there are so many things. You'd see the void in them, because they are not just structured to be like that. So when this happens, you'll find that he's not a happy man. And once he's not a happy man, that boils to you as the woman. So you'll find that there are things that you have to bear with simply because he's not happy. But when you let him be happy, then you think you find that things are working. And again, you see, there are things in the home that if the effort of the woman is not there, you find that there is so much that is, let me say, is amiss. So as women, I know we'll be working, we'll be providing, but still there are those things that are meant to be done by our hands. And so we have to just do them. And also to earn your respect and to feel comfortable in your home as a woman. There are things you just have to do. You'll agree with me. I know we can assume that, you know, I'm doing all these things and then you want me to do the home, whatever. Yes, you'll argue with me like that, but within you, I know there's a void, simply because there are those things that you're not doing as a woman in your own home.
All right, you're watching Women Talk here on Maisha Television Kenya. Irene Bushebi is dispensing some advice to you there as you watch as a man or as a wife. I hope that you're grappling something. My name is Ridah Kering. We are taking a short commercial break. You can talk to us. Our studio number is 0746 999841. You can text, call, or WhatsApp that number. We are taking a short commercial break. Stay tuned for the second part.
A strong woman knows she has strength enough for the journey. But a woman of strength knows it is in the journey where she will become strong. Join Irene Bushebi and Ridah Kering on Prime Women Talk every Wednesday from 8 p.m. exclusive to MTV.
This is journalism that reflects the true picture of our nation and its surroundings.
A report must be fact-based, meticulous, and factual. And backed by a competent, skillful, or assured editorial team.
Members of Parliament allied to the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition
to give you a 1-hour impartial and objective special report.
Join Mash Musimbi for special report at 2 p.m. Monday to Friday. If it matters to you, it matters to us.
Take away the noise.
We are here to inform and educate you on all that is happening around you.
The fury. Hello and thank you so much for joining us from wherever you are. The fighting voices. The distortions. The color and the flashy effects. But most of all, you can take away the lights. The misrepresentation that seeks to pull us apart, and then you can finally find out what is actually happening. And when you find that, then you will find Maisha Prime News, trusted, unbiased, authoritative.
Maisha Prime News.
You deserve to know. True and false. Furthermore, you are the most important person, not only to you, but to us.
With the incredible Ridah Kering for bold, educative information news bulletin.
I research, explore, authenticate, and prepare adequately and sufficiently.
Get the whole story. Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m.
3 young people who scored more than 350 marks from poor families in Lamu County.
They said it is a time to put political differences aside.
The CS further lauded the efforts of police officers in the last 100 days.
The leaders affirmed their party has a close relationship with the president.
kuchaguliwa kuwa bora zaidi na kupewa ushindi wa kuzaa na kitengo cha mawasiliano cha serikali.
And the winner is Maisha TV.
Maisha TV, stesheni inayokuwa kwa kasi, stesheni inayokujali mtazamaji.
You can trust the award-winning TV station.
Stesheni inayojali mwananchi wa Kenya.
Biashara imeanza kudidimia sana, unapata customer wanalia.
Stesheni inayotoa mafunzo, maelezo na taarifa kwa kina zaidi.
Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, Millicent Luamba, Maisha Prime News.
For Maisha Prime. For Maisha Prime.
For Maisha Prime Education Segment. For Maisha Prime News.
Hii ni runinga ya maisha.
Alright, welcome back to the second part of Maisha Prime Women Talk, where real women engage. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Ridah Kering Chibet, and of course I'm not alone in studio. I'm with Irene Bushebi, counselor, pastor, a mother, and she is also a wife. Talk to us. Our studio number is 0746999841. Text, call or WhatsApp, and we will get back to you. You can also leave a comment on our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE. Before we went for a short commercial break, Irene was just talking about some of the responsibilities that you as a wife, you must do them, even if you are the provider, even if you are a leader. I remember I even talked to a deputy governor of Bungoma County, and she said that she is the deputy governor when she's in office, but kirudi nyumbani, she's a wife and she's a mother. Hiyo title nyingine zote, pastor, deputy governor, kando. You must put those titles away. Ukifika nyumbani, you are a wife, you are a mother, you are a daughter, nothing more. This boils down to the submission. The Bible says that women should submit to your husbands, but husbands, you should also love your wives. I didn't talk about submission a little bit. I know we've talked about this, but women need to be reminded.
Yeah, sure. It's very true. You've just mentioned a very key thing about the deputy governor, and I love that. And there's satisfaction that comes with it. You know, take for example, a woman, you are home, you've just come from the office, you're still in your skirt suit and your heels and everything, and you're running around with the kids. You're trying to, you know, just brush up on things, and you don't feel comfortable. When you get home, you want to get your dera on and your hair down and everything going, you see. So that's what makes you a woman. So these titles and all that stuff, it tells you that you'll only be comfortable in those titles when you're out there. But when you come home, it's about home. You have to be home. You see, even men, we see that when they come home, they don't want to just remain in those suits. They want to get, you know, those shorts and, you know, something, you know, just to make them feel they are home. So when you're talking about submission, this is something that is God ordained, and as much as we talk about it so much, it's, as you're saying, we keep on reminding ourselves, because sometimes we get into those levels where we think, why do I need to submit? But you know what? You need to submit for satisfaction. Once you submit, you'll find that you are more satisfied. Yes. Because that is who you are meant to be. Somebody who submits. But if you don't do it, I know people try to pretend a lot. There was that time we were talking about getting real, being real. Being real. Yeah, being real is just being real, you know. So we can't avoid it by saying that, you know what, that is camouflaging. And most of the time you find that there is a void within you. I know it. I'm a woman. I feel it. Every moment I try to feel that, you know, I need not to submit. I find that there are those question marks that run within me, within my mind and my heart. And I'm like, really, I really need to do something about this. So this submission thing, yes, our levels of even empowerment as women make us think that we can do otherwise. But if you really, this person who wants to remain sober and feel the satisfaction and even enjoy life, just be submissive. It will help you to move a step and another. And as we've discussed it here several times, is that it's not just about you. When you start living, sometimes we think it's just about us. We just think like when we used to be in school, you go to school, you're thinking you're going to school because of your parents. It's the same thing when it comes to all these things that we have to do in life. Sometimes we think we are doing them because of ourselves.
Yeah.
My friend, you're not doing them for yourself. You are doing them for someone else.
Yeah.
There's somebody following you. There's somebody that is coming after you. This person really needs you to be there so that they know what to do. And so if you're going to think that I'm doing this thing of submission because of me and so I'm done with it, I don't want to do it anymore, you are messing somebody up. So as much as we would want to put it aside because it's something that shows us like our worth is not there, I don't think God was that foolish to say that we need to submit as women. God in all his senses is talking about his wisdom being higher than, you know, the skies from, you know. So think about that for a minute and then start thinking how wise you are thinking that you need not to submit. I'm trying to talk about this from the depth of it so that we can understand. Because I know there are levels we've reached. There are places we've gone. And maybe your husband has never been there. And you're thinking, this one, do they know where the levels unto which I am? And when you're out there, everybody elevates you to that level. My friend, before it messes you up, if you want to remain in that level, when you come home, submit to this guy. You will be taken higher. Even those people who take you high, they take you high because they know there's somebody you're submitting to. You want to work well with authority, you work, and authority is something that elevates you. If you want to work well with it, make sure that there is that place where you find yourself also submitting. And that's why you find that even us, as much as sometimes we say we love God, we do what to God, if you're not somebody who is submissive to God, you just love God by your lips. But if you're somebody who knows how to submit to God, you'll be taken to the glory of God. Okay, I'm talking from that level. But I'm just trying to bring this example so that we can understand. Submission, I can't give you another name for submission. I can tell you 1,001 times, be submissive. As a woman, you will say this. I know you're sitting there and you're wondering, what am I talking about? You want me to submit to this man who does not love me? Ridah just told us that, you know what, man needs to also do this by love. You want that love to come, keep on submitting. You'll meet that love somewhere. You will command it by the submission that you're giving. You will find that that love just boils in. Because this is how nature dictates it. So if you do what you need to do, then the other one will be forced into place. Because you've done the right thing. You see, if the rain comes down, then it means the ground has to be green. We don't need to force it. So what are you thinking? If it doesn't rain, it remains dry. So what is it that you're looking for? You want that love. Just do what you are told to do. And the person who has told you is the person who has put these things within each one of us, being a man or being a woman. And everything that is needed so that the other one can provide the love and the other one can provide the submission. So what are you looking for? Love, submit. Automatically, you'll get into the love you're looking for.
Well, I think that is well explained. We know that men are the heads, let me use that term, in nature. They are leaders in nature. And here we're talking about submission. But at some levels, you'll find that maybe your husband, your boyfriend, has done something wrong. You need to kumrekebisha that. You need to advise him. You need to tell him something. How can women do this without destroying that ego?
Submission. You know what submission, you know, when I talk about submission, sometimes I tend to think that we also don't understand what submission is. Because we think submission ni ile kupiga magoti kama wale wadada zetu kutoka Uganda. Maybe that's what you're thinking. Submission to me means much more. Submission to me means, what is it within you? How do you take your husband? Do you just think he's an equal partner? Do you think he's, like we usually say, he's my firstborn, you know, like the man, because he demands a lot from me. So you put him in the level of the children and you say, this is the bigger child in my home. Yeah, all those things put together. Within you, if you would be forced to be in a position where you can die for him. You can lay your life down for him. Are you ready? Yes. Yeah, there was a story that was going around about these criminals wanting to kill the husband or the wife, and then it was like, do we kill him? And you know, you see, some of these choices are so difficult for us to make because from the depth of us, we think we are better than the other. What you need to do is that most of the time, find yourself to be just a little bit lower so that you can push the other one. The moment you submit to somebody, you always push them to do what they need to do. But if you feel that you want to be over them, always they would want now to push you to do. So that is what we are talking about. And in this case, remember, there's also the natural principle of it. That if you do it as it's supposed to be done, then it gets into its position. So let's come back to your question that, you know, how do we address men when they are leaders? You see, I know we go to these offices ambazo tuko nazo, kwenda kwa chief ama kwenda kwa nani. Sometimes wewe ni mtu, I had an incident where mwanajeshi anatakana kwenda ku address chief. Haezi enda huko in full combat aseme, you know, Mr. Chief, you have to do this. No, it doesn't go like that. There's a protocol. When you reach there, you have to know this is the office of the chief. I have to address it as the office of the chief. As much as tukirudi kweli, mi naweza kukusaidia. You know, we are not talking about that. We are talking about now, here it is. How do we do it? So if you want to do that also, we are coming back to us as women. What you need to do is, if you want to address this person, kuwa kwa position yako enye inafaa uwe. As much as unaweza kuwa pia wewe umefika mahali ambapo unafikiria I'm a leader in my own way. But here we have this leader who was commanded to be a leader by not just any other person but God himself who created him. So if you want this, if you want to address this person in that position, as much as he's a leader and you maybe uko chini yake, jua kwamba lazima ushikilie ile position yako as you want to address him. What am I talking about? The submission that we just discussed. So the submission doesn't just start when you want to address him on issues. It starts somewhere else. He has to see, kwa sababu yeye pia ni mwanadamu. Huwezi niambia kwamba siku ile unataka kumuaddress ndio unakuja vizuri, lakini siku ile there are things to be done in different areas, then you get out of your way. No. So this means it has to be something that you practiced. It has to be something that you've gotten into somebody's heart, you know. Umeingia kwa moyo wake na najua kweli ukiona my wife amefanya hivi, then it means there's something that we really need to take seriously. You see. So we are talking about practicing what we really need to be practicing in our marriages. So if it means submission, usiwe una submit tu wakati, I know of women ambao wakati anataka kwenda kutengeneza nywele yake atakuwa mzuri sana that week. Everything is done. Tu style fulani najua hapa sasa. Na umejua kisha kumaster hivyo, siku moja atakuacha kwa mata. You see, na atapata mtu pale ambaye anajua kumuingiza box katika ile hali ya everything wants to be done, it is done across the board. You see, lakini yako inakuwa tu kwa wakati there are things you want. So these are human beings, they'll know what you're trying to bring forth. So what we are saying in this position is that, please, you want to address your man, you want to talk to him, though as much as he's a leader, are you doing what is supposed to be done? So that when you come up with an issue, atajua yenyewe, ukiona my wife amefika hapo, then there's something that she's talking about. Anaweza kubrush off, lakini hiyo kitu itaenda, kwa sababu nimekuambia nini, these are natural laws. And when you work with them promptly, they'll put you in that position where you're supposed to be. And they will address those people who are over you or even under you in the right way, because those principles are the ones dictating. Nimekuambia hapa tu vizuri, mvua ikinyesha wewe utaongea na nyasi uambie nyasi sasa tokeni. Wenyewe wanajua, they'll come. You see that? So that is what we are talking about. If you're gonna work well with these principles of God, nothing will avoid you from achieving what you need to achieve, even if it means talking to him as much as he's a leader, as much as he's the top of that family.
All right, and we are talking about gender equality, or we are pushing for gender equality, and this is obviously affecting that leadership in families. How do we go about it?
Gender equality is where we want to be, in this same level. What we are doing to men is what we are doing to women. I don't think there is anything wrong with that, as much as we remain in our positions. You see, as much as wanaweza kukuruhusu uwe CEO wa kampuni, na even a man can be allowed to be a CEO. Still unapata tumeongea juu ya hii. Ukirudi home wewe ni mwanamke tu, unafanya kazi zako za nyumbani. So what is wrong with that? Nothing. You can work well at your place of work, but when you come home, you can also still work well because you know who you are at home, you know who you are at your place of work. So when we are talking about the gender equality, we are talking about not discriminating others simply because they are women, you see. So when we do that, we are doing it at the back of our mind, remaining to know that there are also those principles that have to be left as they are.
Yeah.
And what will make them even be more stronger, this, you know, even the equality that we're talking about, is when we respect these things that we found here as foundation. Si kwamba ukitaka kujenga nyumba, tuseme nyumba imeenda stories mingi kule juu, una bomo ama unaweka what would I say, a fancy foundation so that it matches the fancy building that you're coming up with. The foundation remains the foundation. Lazima iwe ile imekorogwa vizuri ili ishikilie the story building. That is how we come up with the story building. So we don't put a fancy foundation simply because we want a fancy building. That's not what we are talking about. If it is a foundation, it has to be remaining a foundation. But now the fanciness will be built on top of the foundation. That is what we're talking about. So when we're talking about equality, we are talking about equality building on the foundations of who a man is, who a woman is. And then we'll not mess with the equality. Equality is just here to help us not discriminate each other. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, why should we discriminate the other?
Women are weaker vessels. And this also applies to empowerment. Yes. We find that women have been empowered. Mama saizi ana pesa kwa mfuko, she can do anything. How should women also go about this to ensure that it doesn't affect their marriage?
Unajua wakati mwingine pia sisi, maybe let me talk about men for a while. You know, sometimes men we try to think that now we don't need to do those things that we need to do for women when they are empowered. Please just do what you need to do for them just the way you used to do it, because I don't think empowerment messes up with anything. Yes. Kwa hivyo wakati mwanamke amekuwa empowered, ako kwa position of leadership, isiwe kwamba sasa akikuja nyumbani unajaribu kumdumisha zaidi ati ndio umuonyeshe kwamba ati yeye ni mwanamke nyumbani. Please just let her be free as she used to be, ili kwamba imsaidie kumpropel in that position. Because when she goes up na familia yake imebaki intact, ata earn more even in her place of work. Yes. You see that. So coming back to what you said, when I know that I have money, unajua hiyo issue ya kujaribu sasa kufanya kuona kwamba me I'm even better than this man and something like that, that is my mind. Yes. Yeah, because what will money do? In terms, I've just talked about it. Will that change your man to be a woman and then you become a man because you have money in your pocket? I think you still enjoy it being a woman with your money. And even if it is him, he enjoys being a man with his money. So money is just something that will come. But us as we are, let us remain who we are. Let us not look at these things pengine nimekuwa elevated in position. Na hii ndio utusumbua, because when you start doing this even from back home, like you want even people at home kuanzia na mume wako waanze kubow down kwako kwa sababu kwa position yako umepewa promotion. Ujue kwamba hata kule kazini itaku affect, because you will see the men around as your husband. You will want them to bow to you. Numejua nini? As much as wanajua wewe uko kwa ile position, wangependa kukuheshimu kwa hiyo position, lakini pia uwaheshimu kama wanaume. Yeah. And because you won't do this, because una imagine kama mume wangu nyumbani ndio anainama, sasa wewe ni nani? Utatoka kwa hiyo position yako. Yeah, you'll be demoted within a very short time. Demotion does not mean that you're taken out of your position. I want you to mark that. Demotion means when everybody doesn't even want to work with you, you're already demoted. Yeah. Kwa sababu you'll be straining so much. Why are you straining? Kwa sababu you didn't take these men as men. Men are men. Wacha tusidanganyane, they are men. That is what God gave them. The only thing we can do is, if we can work so hard and do those things that they are doing, and even much more, I think they'll even appreciate. And that's why I started by saying, even men, when we see that our women are going somewhere, please don't start trying to push them so that warudi chini. Wacha waende penye wanaenda, na pia wakiona mnawasaidia wataendelea kuwaheshimu, kwa sababu wanaona as much as they are up there, you still take them as the woman or the women they are. So that they know that hata unaweza enda height gani, a man will help you, but they know their position, you know your position. Na hiyo itatusaidia sana kujenga. And we know that women are very good in being productive. When they are given ile freedom ya kufanya vitu, they do things well. They do, tumeongea juu ya perfection in doing whatever they are doing. Women multitask, and so they can do so much compared to maybe what men can do in a certain period of time. So if we can do that and help them come up there, but remaining intact in your positions, nadhani tutaenda mbali, even as a nation and even in the world as it is. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Irene, for that beautiful advice there. We're talking about leadership in families or in marriage. My name is Ridah Kering Chebet, and as we wind up, Irene, I'll just give you a minute to say something tukimalizia program.
What I want to say is that leadership in marriage, the way I started by saying, is that we want to take marriage to another level. You know, the position of marriage has been so destroyed and washed around that you see people now are diluting it to say that we can get married man and a man, a woman and a woman. Why? Because this institution of marriage tumeingilia ndani na kuanza kutafuta weaknesses zake mingi, not knowing that sisi wenyewe ndio tumeleta hizo shida. Kama hatungeleta hizo shida, marriage haingekuwa na shida. Many young people, you ask them today, they tell you, why should I get married? Why? Because waliona what happened in a marriage. Wamesikia what happens in marriages. So they don't want to go there. But if we are going to make this institution of marriage as sweet as it's supposed to be, everybody will be rushing in. And when they come in, we show them, vile nilikuwa nasema, when you do something right, you are helping somebody who is behind you. So when we do the right things in our marriages, tutakuwa tuna encourage our youth to get into marriage. And when they get into marriage, they know because they've seen what we are doing in marriages. So please, sisi ndio tumeharibu marriage. Can we bring it back? It's possible.
All right, thank you so much, Irene, and thank you to you, our viewer, for choosing to stay here. You're watching Maisha Prime Women Talk, where real women engage. Keep your feedback coming via studio number 0746 999 841. Text, call, or WhatsApp that number. And we also our social media handles: Facebook, YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE. My name is Ridah Kering Chebet. Enjoy the rest of your viewing. See you next time.